Senator Ted Cruz, Republican from the great state of Texas, joins me now. Mr. Senator, what's the significance of this indictment move?
Well, it is, I'm glad they're moving forward with an indictment. I'm glad they're doing something, but it is deeply disappointing. All the early indications are, as was just covered in the report seconds ago, that this is likely to be on the gun charge. And the reason that's disappointing is over a year ago, I said, I do a podcast every week called Verdict with Ted Cruz. We do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we've gone through on the podcast in deep coverage the evidence of corruption of Joe Biden. And what I said over a year ago is if DOJ goes after Hunter for something like the gun charge or a drug charge or personal tax charges, all of those are designed to do one thing, and that is protect Joe Biden. The important thing to understand, the reason people care about Hunter Biden, it's not that he's one troubled soul who's struggled with substance abuse. The reason this is a matter of public concern is the heart of the allegations are that Hunter Biden made millions of dollars by selling favors from Daddy, selling favors from Joe Biden. This has always been about Joe Biden's corruption, about the multiple whistleblowers who have alleged obstruction of justice, who have alleged that Attorney General Merrick Garland lied under oath, and who have alleged that Joe Biden solicited and received millions of dollars of bribes from corrupt foreign oligarchs. What this indictment is the Biden DOJ trying to shift all the blame to Hunter and ignore President Joe Biden's, the evidence of his corruption.
The Chinese know what's going on. Do they therefore have leverage over our president?
It is a very good question. We know that Hunter, for example, texted using WhatsApp a senior Chinese communist official saying, I'm sitting here next to my father, next to then Vice President Joe Biden. I'm sitting here next to my father, and if you do not give me millions of dollars, my father will retaliate and punish you. That, David Weiss and the Biden Department of Justice seems to have no interest in investigating. In fact, the two IRS whistleblowers, who are both career IRS employees, both Democrats, they came forward and said, they asked to check the GPS locations to see if Joe Biden was in fact sitting next to Hunter when he sent that text saying Daddy's going to retaliate. And the Biden DOJ said, no, you cannot look into Joe Biden. Absolutely not. They blocked it. And I got to say, listen, David Weiss is illegally appointed to begin with. The Department of Justice regulations require that a special counsel be appointed from outside the Department of Justice. The reason Merrick Garland named David Weiss is because David Weiss had already negotiated a sweetheart deal where Hunter got a slap on the wrist, got no jail time, and Joe was completely insulated from further investigation. This is sadly the next step in that, and it is the next step in the Biden DOJ cover-up of what Joe Biden, the growing evidence of Joe Biden's corruption.
Real fast, Mr. Senator, I'll change the subject. A looming government shutdown is on the horizon, could happen by the end of this month. What, in your opinion, would it take to strike a deal?
Well, unfortunately, I think there's a significant chance of a government shutdown. And the reason I think that is I think Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer want a government shutdown. I think they believe it would benefit them politically. I think they believe that the press would happily blame it on Republicans. And so I think they're going to try to force a government shutdown. Funding for the federal government expires September 30th, and I would put the odds very high that Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer just say to hell with you to congressional Republicans. Look, the way our system is supposed to work is Republicans and Democrats are supposed to negotiate together and reach an agreement, reach a compromise. I don't think Biden and Schumer want that because they want a shutdown. I think that's probably where we're headed.
We'll leave it right there. Mr. Senator, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure. Come back soon, please.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yes, sir.